All right, ladies and gentlemen, lesson 27, mod 5, comparing fractions greater than 1 by getting that common numerator or denominator. As we've talked about in the past, getting a common denominator is a better plan because you can compare much easier that way. What we're going to do is we're going to write these fractions down and we're going to talk about how we can compare them. So they are both mixed numbers, and since they both have a 3 as their whole, we can easily just say, well, let's compare 3/8 versus 3/4. Now, you know that 3 out of 8 pieces is much less than 3 out of 4, so you already know that this is bigger. Let's go ahead and check. Go ahead and write 2 tape models, one representing 3/8 and one representing 3/4. Go ahead and work on that. Pause while you do it. All right, if you look at the 2 models that I created, I have 3/8 here and 3/4 here. So what you have to ask yourself are, how are 4 and 8s connected? Well, 4 is half of 8, so could I essentially turn my 4s into 8s? And the answer is yes. Once I do that, this 3/4 actually becomes 6/8. So I'm really comparing 3 and 3/8 to 3 and 6/8, which, as I said, shows us that 3 and 6/8 is larger. We've done this enough times. I'm not going to make you do it again. The next thing we're going to compare is something that's a little bit more difficult. This one was easy because 4 and 8, they have a connection. They're pretty relatively close. How about these 2 fractions? Again, we're dealing with mixed numbers on one end, but then the other one is not a mixed number. What do you think you need to do? I want you to pause while you think what you should do in order to make these a little bit easier to work with. Go ahead and pause. If you said that we should turn this into a mixed number, then I agree with you, because then we can see what our whole is. As soon as we see our whole, it's very easy to compare. So I ask myself, how many wholes can I get out of 23/5? Well, if you need to do what we've done in the past and work it out that way, you can. Or you can just go ahead and know what it is. Pause it if you want to do it this way. If you don't want to do it this way, then you know that 5 times 4 is 20. So it's really 4, which is 20/5, with 3/5 remaining. And if you had done it this way, you would have made it all the way to 15/5, 20/5, 4, which was taking away 20, which left me with 3/5. Now I'm comparing 4 and 4, done. Those are both canceling each other out. So I'm really looking at 3/4 versus 3/5. So here's our problem. They do not have anything quickly that they have in common. So we actually have to make a common denominator. It wasn't as easy as this one where 8 was the common denominator and we didn't have to go any higher. Well, what do 4 and 5 have in common? Well, we talked about counting by multiples. So let's go ahead and do that for 4 and 5. Pause while you do that. I stopped at 20 when counting by 4s because I knew when I count by 5s I would also hit 20. So 20 is going to be my new common denominator. So I could say, okay, 3/4, I want to get to 20ths. How am I going to do it? Well, 4 times 5, bring that 4 over. What you do to the bottom, you do to the top. So that gives me 15/20. That's 3/4. Now I do it with 3/5. And I want to get to 20ths. How do I get from 5 to 20? Oops, sorry about that. How do I get from 5 to 20? 5 times 4, which you do to the bottom, you do to the top. I get 12. So I'm really comparing 4 and 15/20, because 15/20 equals 3/4, to 4 and 12/20, because 12/20 equals 3/5. They're equivalent. Well, from there I can see that this is bigger. So that's the one way you can do it. You could also make an area model. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's make 2 area models, same size. And in one, I want you to make 3/4, and the other one, I want you to make 3/5. Go ahead and pause while you do that. You can see here that 3/4 is bigger than 3/5, but if you wanted to get that common denominator, you know it's 20. So I have to turn this into 20ths, and I have to turn this into 20ths. So in order to turn 4 into 20ths, I need 5 sections. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. And to turn 5 into 20ths, I need 4 sections. And that one I can cut so much easier. 4 sections, 3 lines. Now I can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 20ths. Hey, guess what? We found that over here as well. 15 20ths. And then, of course, here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which gives me 12 20ths. Oh my gosh, I found the same thing over here. I have proven it one way and 2 ways, that 4 3/4 is larger than 4 3/5. This is the last one I'm going to give you. Now, you have 2 choices. You can either turn this mixed number into an improper fraction like this, or you can turn this improper fraction into a mixed number like this. I don't care which path you do. I'm going to do both so that we can look at both to compare. So for now, I want you to turn either this into a mixed number or this into an improper fraction. And see if you can figure out which one is bigger or greater. Go ahead and pause while you do that. These are the 2 ways you could have turned them. 3 7/10, 3 wholes, well that's 30 tenths. And then I had 7 tenths on top of that. I could have done it this way. 30 tenths plus 7 tenths. That's how I got 37 tenths. Or I took 18/5 and I said, how many wholes can I get out of there? 5/5 is 1, 10/5 is 2, 15/5 is 3. And 15 from 18 is 3. That's the difference. But I still am having a hard time comparing because my denominators are not common. So I'm going to make a common denominator here because I know 5 works with 10. 5, 10. Times 2 on the bottom, times 2 on the top. This makes it 36 tenths. Oh, that's interesting. Which one's bigger now? This one. Or my 3's are the same, so I can take my 3/5 and turn them into tenths. You're right, because 10 is my common denominator. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. Therefore, I'm comparing 3 7/10 to 3 6/10. I don't care which one you did, just make sure you've done one of them. And again, this one's larger. Phew, thank goodness I didn't make a mistake. Go ahead and find a partner, work on your problem set, and it's going to ask you for area models, tape models. Do just, 1 or 2 of each, and then you can use whatever method works for you. All right, good luck.